Today our passage is Acts chapter 11, verses 19 to the end. The feast of Barnabas the Apostle is recognised today instead of its usual date, the 11th, as it was Corpus Christi yesterday. Barnabas means son of encouragement, and we see his ministry of encouragement in the book of Acts. This is probably an underestimated gift and a very necessary and beneficial one. What would have happened, I wonder, if Barnabas had not, as it were, taken Saul under his wing and introduced him to the church at Antioch? Would the great missionary journeys have even taken place? Barnabas went with Saul on the first one, and it was, in fact, Barnabas and Saul in that order who were called by the Holy Spirit initially, before Saul took his Roman name of Paul. Reading the account of that journey, Luke, the author, soon switches to calling them Paul and Barnabas. So it's clear that Paul quickly emerged as the real leader. There was a disagreement later on about John Mark, and they parted company. But Paul had been launched on the world. I'm sure Barnabas went on encouraging others. His ministry was one of support and facilitation, perhaps often unnoticed in the background. Encouragement. What would we do without it? The clap for carers finished a couple of weeks ago, but I'm sure it must have been very encouraging for them over the weeks that it lasted. And it was so good for the rest of us to say thank you and well done. It's always good for us to say those things. How many of us have needed encouragement in the long weeks of lockdown? A phone call, a conversation across the street or between gates, an amusing video shared online, remind us that others are struggling too, that we're not alone, although we may be lonely. Simple ways to keep our spirits up. I wonder if you can look back at your life and think of people who've performed this ministry of encouragement for you. Family members, perhaps, friends, teachers, colleagues. Who can you name and say, if it wasn't for so-and-so, then what? How big a part did that person really play for you? Today's a good day to remember these sons and daughters of encouragement and to give thanks for them, whether they're still with us or have gone before. And the best way to thank them is, of course, to pass on what we have received and benefited from to others. Whom could you or I encourage today? Even with limited movement, we can still encourage someone every day.